So my luck story begins on St. Patrick's Day 2011. I had this boss, his name was Sam. He was Italian every day of the year except St. Patrick's Day. On St. Patrick's Day, Sam turned Irish, 100%. So I'm at work and Sam goes, "Hey, Reba, you want to go knock off work early and start drinking?" "No, Sam, let's stay." "No, yes, of course, let's go drink." So we get to the bar and everybody's wearing green, they're having such a great time. And Sam, orders rounds of Guinness and he orders Irish car bombs and he hands me both and he says, "Drink up, sister." And I go, "Sam, I don't drink beer. You know this about me. I drink wine." And he's like, "Oh, no, today you drink beer." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "If you don't drink beer, you're going to have the worst luck of your life." And I go, "Sam, I don't believe in luck." Big mistake. Huge, huge mistake. The next day, get a flat tire. These are like my famous last words. I don't believe in luck. I get a flat tire. No big deal. I send Sam a message. I say, "Hey, I'm going to be a little late to work." He goes, "You should have drank that beer." Okay. The next day, I had borrowed my in-laws' car, and the starter went out on the car. I tell Sam, "Hey, I'm going to be late." He didn't have a smiley face on this reply. And thus began 60 days of the most ridiculous car trouble I have ever personally heard anyone to have. It was so bad that my husband and I started calling it Carmageddon. It was so all in all, I had 9 flat tires, 7 different times, 9 flat tires, 2 break-ins, the starter went out. My mechanic gave me his cell phone number. He was like, "Honey, you have issues." And of course I did have issues. I used up all my AAA calls. I borrowed my mother-in-law's AAA card. I used up her calls. I borrowed my husband. I used them all up. I used up all my AAA calls. And poor Sam, I'm always now running late to work, and and he's getting more and more concerned, thinking, "Is this girl putting me on?" So I was almost glad, that the day that I was going down this old Kentucky road, Sam was in the car with me. We hit a pothole, ba-boom, 2 broken axles, 2 flat tires. Sam looks at me, and I can see it in his eyes. He's going, "Why didn't you drink the beer?" And I was like, "Don't even say it. Don't even say it." I was like, "We're going to have to call your AAA because I don't have any more calls left." So Sam calls his AAA. About an hour later, we see this green truck coming from far away. This should have been my first clue. It gets closer. On the side of the truck, I kid you not, is painted a rainbow with a pot of gold on it. And as it gets closer, we see that this is Lucky's Towing Service. The guy gets out of the car, and you guys, he is a leprechaun. He's like this tall. Red hair. He looks at me and he goes, I'm not even kidding. He goes, "Did you forget to drink a beer on St. Patrick's Day?" So the leprechaun and Sam this whole time is just looking at me like, "Oh God, Rebecca, what have you gotten us into?" And the leprechaun gets the car and he puts Sam and I in the cab. We're an hour and a half away from Cincinnati. The leprechaun is chain smoking. I'm sitting over the gear shift. Sam is trying to lean out the window. We finally get back to Cincinnati. At this time, I did not live here. We get back to Cincinnati. I find out it's going to be $1,500 more. I was not having a good day. Sam drops me off at a hotel for the night while my car gets fixed. And I did what, like anyone would do in this circumstance. I went to the hotel bar. Now, this was not like a nice hotel bar. This was like a... he had like boxed wine in little plastic cups. I've got nothing against boxed wine, but this is the kind of place we're talking about. And I tell Josh, the bartender, all my woes, all about my Carmageddon. And Josh, the bartender, keeps pouring me drinks. So we start talking. It's just him and I. And as it turns out, Josh, the bartender, and I had gone to the same church growing up. He was a little older than me. And we had also gone to the same little Christian school. Now, keep in mind, we were 2 hours away from where this place was that we had grown up. My mom was his music teacher. So we have this crazy, commonality. And we just look at each other and we start reminiscing about these crazy things that we were taught when we were kids. And we're talking about how the Smurfs were the devil and Santa was Satan and yoga was a swift way to go to hell. And then he got very quiet and he said, and we were told to pray the gay away. And Josh, as it turns out, was gay, and that was not okay in the church that we grew up in. It was so not okay that Josh spent a huge amount of time in deep spiritual darkness because he believed that God did not love him as he was. And I actually spent a great amount of time in spiritual darkness for different reasons, but the same idea, that God did not like me for exactly who I was and what I believed. And so Josh and I both dealt with this darkness, and this is darkness that I call spiritual injury, post-traumatic church syndrome. Can I get a hallelujah? Post-traumatic church syndrome. So Josh and I had both dealt with this, and I thought, I was right in the midst of it. And I thought Josh was too, and still he started talking. And I noticed that Josh was not angry like I was. Josh was not bitter like I was. Josh, with everything that he had been through, Josh had gone on a journey and he had found his peace. You could see it on his face. And Josh made me look at myself and ask the question, what if? What if I did not have to stay in this darkness? What if I could change the ending to this story? What if I could overcome post-traumatic church syndrome like Josh had? What if? And this question of what if, it took me on this incredible journey through 30 religions before I turned 30. I went on this huge search, not because I was looking for a religion, but because I was looking for my heart. I was looking for Josh's peace. And I went on this journey, and this journey completely changed everything for me, everything. And not only did the darkness lift, and not only did I overcome post-traumatic church syndrome, but then I wrote a book about it. And the book's title is Post-Traumatic Church Syndrome. And the first part of the book, the first chapter, is me walking into the bar and telling Josh about Carmageddon. And now today, almost every other day, I get letters from people all around the world, who are asking that same question, what if? What if? And they are going on their own journey and they are being healed, all because of some car trouble. Now, this lesson is twofold. 1, drink a beer on St. Patrick's Day. And 2, the worst luck of your life could just land you in the luckiest circumstance you ever imagined. Thank you.